It was the worst mistake of our lives, stepping into that house, not knowing if we would ever come out. This is the story of me and my friends, and how a simple dare turned into the most terrifying night of our lives. It was summer break, and we decided to do something different this year. Jason had booked an old hotel on the edge of a small town. It looked abandoned, but the rates were cheap. "Just a night or two. It'll be fun," I said, trying to sound confident. Tom rolled his eyes uneasy. "Looks a bit sketchy to me." Ryan and Jason, however, were buzzing with excitement, dragging their bags behind them. After checking in, we rested for a while, snacked, relaxed, and then planned to explore the town at night. The streets were quiet. A cool breeze swept past us. The town center was small. Most shops closed, only a few dim lights flickering. And then we saw it. A house. Not just any house. It was huge, old, its roof sagging. Broken windows were all wide open. The front door creaked slightly, as if inviting or warning we shouldn't enter. Jason whispered, "Looks abandoned, probably empty." Tom waved his hand nervously, "But something feels off." I trained my flashlight on the building, and my breath caught. There was something unnerving about it. The silence, the way the open windows seemed to exhale a cold, almost deliberate breeze, as if the house itself was watching. Ryan muttered, voice shaking, Maybe we shouldn't..." Ryan muttered, voice shaking, Maybe we shouldn't go in." But curiosity and the dare won. "Just a quick look," we said. As we stepped closer to the door, the wind picked up. A shadow moved in the corner of my flashlight's beam. At first, it seemed like a trick of the light, but then it shifted. That's when we realized the house wasn't empty. Something was inside, watching. We exchanged nervous glances, then stepped inside. The door slammed shut behind us. We were trapped. Each step made the floorboards groan beneath us. Curtains fluttered. Shadows clung to the corners, stretching unnaturally. And then we saw it. A shape, human-like but wrong. Long, spindly limbs, bent in impossible ways. A blurred face, unwilling to be seen. And it hovered. Jason screamed, his voice cracking, "Get off me! Help!" The creature moved toward us, its fingers wrapped around Ryan's neck. The creature moved toward us, its fingers wrapped around Ryan's neck. His screams weakened, blue spreading across his face. Tom and I pulled with all our strength, but the thing always stayed a step ahead. We ran, but the house, it was alive. Doors disappeared, hallways twisted, rooms repeated endlessly. Every turn led back to where we started. "Help! Somebody!" We screamed, but only our echoes answered. The shadow appeared again, hanging from the ceiling, sliding along the floor, landing on Jason. He collapsed, eyes wide, screaming. We grabbed him and ran, stairwell to stairwell, trying to find an exit. Eventually, we stumbled onto the rooftop. The night air hit us like a wave, heartbeats pounding, bodies shaking uncontrollably. And as I looked back, the creature stood in a broken window, watching us. Its grin horrifying, as if it were saying, "You escaped, but I am always here." We left the hotel that night, running as fast as we could. Ryan whispered, still trembling, "I can still feel its fingers on my neck." In 1900, 3 lighthouse keepers vanished from the Flannan Isles off the coast of Scotland. When relief arrived, the lamps were clean, the beds were made, and the door was locked from the inside. No bodies were ever found.
This is the story the sea didn't write down. The wind had teeth that night. Thomas Marshall counted them by the way they worried the shutters before he gave up and struck another match. The flame shook in his hand like it wanted to escape. James Ducat was on watch, standing too still by the lantern room window. Donald MacArthur paced, boots scuffing the stone. Outside, the ocean rose and fell like a dark lung. "Did you hear it?" Donald asked. "Hear what?" James said without turning. The knock came again, soft, polite, from the iron door at the base of the tower. Thomas froze. No boats could land in that weather. The ladder was slick with spray, the rocks gnashing. The island was a tooth in a storm. "Probably the wind," Thomas said. He didn't believe himself. The knock came a third time, slower, closer, as if the sound were climbing the walls. James finally turned. His face was pale in the lamplight. "There's no one out there," he said, "and if there were, they wouldn't be knocking." Donald grabbed the lantern. "I'll look." They went down together, steps echoing. The iron door was dry. No footprints, no rope. The sea hurled itself at the rocks and withdrew, leaving nothing but foam and a long, listening silence. Then the knock came from inside the tower, from the stairwell above them. Thomas dropped the lantern. The light skittered across stone. James whispered, "Don't answer." They didn't. They stood in the dark and counted their breaths. The knock moved, higher, then lower, testing each level like a hand feeling for a pulse. When it reached the lantern room, the great light flickered. Donald ran. He didn't say where. The door at the base screamed as it opened, wind tearing in like a living thing. James shouted after him, but the storm swallowed the sound. Thomas and James waited until the steps stopped shaking, until the light steadied, until the sea forgot them. At dawn, they found Donald's coat on the rocks. No body, no blood, just the buttons still fastened, as if he had stepped out of it. That night, there were 2 knocks.
James answered the first. The second came from the lantern room. Thomas never went to the door. He stayed by the light until the oil burned low and the wind learned his name. When the relief ship arrived days later, the tower was immaculate. Beds made, table set, door locked from the inside. And somewhere in the stone, something was still knocking.